with watching some of the things that are going on over in La La Land, as I like to call it sometimes, America. It becomes apparent to me that here in Australia we're not going to have much hope unless we first dismantle state-sponsored lies, propaganda, and psychological warfare enacted upon the populace that is you and me. And more importantly, our children, who weren't awake before this heavy indoctrination started. And so this is all that they know, and will be all that they know, unless we do something about it. The politicians and everyone else are able to continue because of the common perception that they're allowed to do so based on the common perception within and amongst people. Now, the common perception that is held within and amongst people is not individual perceptions. That is not yours or mine. It is what is told to be floating as to be the normal or the groupthink that is the common thought of the group. And this is where social engineering gets its key from. That is to unlock the door into your mind by making everybody think that this is what is normal, okay, what everybody else is going along with, and such. After 50 years of doing this, we don't remember anymore the things that were happening to us 10 years ago that we were fighting. Most of them. Because we've got so many new problems that the old ones have just had to have been thrown off to the side. And so we're losing track of where all of this starts from. Now, a big central piece for this entire mechanism to work against us is what we call state-funded media. Right? The news channels literally promulgate suspicion and rhetoric, not fact. They're actually listed in Australia. Most of them are listed as tabloids, not authentic truth networks. Okay? These people who work in these industries of what we call news media, despite the fact that journalists, some of them are out there who think that the institution of journalism is a good thing, and I have no doubt that the idea of the institution of journalism is, but the institution of journalism is state-sponsored media, and that is, in common speak, propaganda. And it is factually litigated within the legislative structure of all of these free world countries, usually under the guise of something along the lines of national security. Because if the people were to rile up, the nation's leaders would be a threat. And such truth literally is national security, but not your security, their security. But first of all, the lies need to stop. And the difference between lies and not lies is not the intent is a big part, but most importantly, what follows intent is action. And so the lack of action on the part of these news media companies to actually do anything and grow from their mistakes and recover from their mistakes is the issue here. That leaves it floating in a state of uncertainty in the mind population of the general think tank of the people, not individuals. However, this is my point. It is filtering down into individuals. And those individuals are taking these lies that are proven wrong, astoundingly proven wrong. They're taking these lies and they're destroying people's lives. They're destroying land and society as we know it. People, lives, livelihoods, okay? Australia is in a very dangerous place, and we can all see it from a mile off. Financially, socially, politically, commercially, manufacturing, okay, across every industry and every field in Australia, except for student visas. They're up a lot. Immigration is floating the lies of the fact that Australia is not doing well, and real estate. These industries float the idea that Australia is actually moving up when everyday life for most people is resulting in tent cities and more homelessness. We need to do something about this. And the biggest, easiest way that we can make the most change the quickest is by targeting the news media outlets. These are the ones who perpetuate and invigorate hate and segregation within our community. These are the ones who should be hit with hate laws. These are the ones who should be hit with discrimination laws. These are the ones who should be targeted in order to bring things back down to a state where everybody has a chance of being able to see what's going on. Because as long as people are under the foolish assumption that because they have news written in their name, that they only speak the truth and that their integral core is aligned with your integrity is a foolish, naive assumption. And we should know better than that, especially adults. Come on. State-sponsored media will give us, as a people, a lot of our power back. And it'll be a lot easier to change a lot faster than a lot of the other issues like law, finances, government. Media will be the easiest hit first. Share the video. Communication, connection, and networking is what we need. Fear of this is what is apparent. Hence why, when the lockdowns happen, freedom of association goes out the window. Freedom of speech goes out the window. Freedom of choice, and now even freedom of thought. Are we going to do something about it? Can I get a heck yeah from my keyboard warriors out there? Hit the share button. Let's do something about this.